Hey, what's up there, fellow nerds? C Monty coming at you for Nerd Era. Wanted to record a little video to discuss something that's been troubling me lately. I'm reading a lot of posts lately. Obviously, I live in New York, so obviously I'm not actually at San Diego Comic-Con and everything, but I've been seeing a lot of posts popping up on my feed, news reports about some truly disturbing things that are happening at San Diego Comic-Con in regards to misogyny. You know, I'm seeing a lot of stuff about girls being sexually assaulted, molested. You know, I saw an article about this woman who was in cosplay that was found on the side of the road unconscious and raped. Like, this is really bothering me. It's really getting to me. And it's something that I feel needs to be addressed. You know, just not even within the nerd community in the nerd world. It's just in general. It should be understood that it is not okay. It's not acceptable. Misogyny and sexual assault and rape and all that stuff is not okay. It's not acceptable to be doing this anymore, guys. You know, females too. I know guys get a lot of the bad rap and everything. Statistically, it is mostly us. But, you know, there are females out there that do inappropriate sexual things. Enforcing your sexual desires onto somebody else is not an acceptable thing to do. First and foremost, it's bad enough that females who want to express their appreciation and show their nerd pride and go out to these things and cosplay and dress up as their favorite characters and show off like that. It's bad enough that they're limited to essentially a male sexual fantasy dominated like imagery. You know, as far as dressing up as characters, the only thing they really have in terms of cosplay is stuff that's sexually appealing to men. It's like this misogynistic view of how superhero women are supposed to look with the buxom breasts and, you know, the curves and the hips and the butts and the really tight, skimpy outfits. You know, they're very limited into what kind of appearance they can project for themselves and present for themselves in regards to the costumes that they could dress up into when they do cosplay. You know, unless they do like some kind of gender bending thing, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, you know, you want to dress up like a female Doctor Who or dress up like Batgirl, something a little bit more like, it doesn't have to be conservative. If you want to dress to show off your body, that's fine too. But the point is that in terms of the imagery of females in nerd related stuff like comic books and video games, it's very limited to that, to this just very sexual fantasy imagery that men have of women. It's our portrayal. It's how we portray the women. And it exhibits our outlook on them. Like, it exhibits how we view women and how we want them to appear. And it's about high time we start thinking about that and taking responsibility for that in those industries. And doing more, doing better. Giving female nerds and female geeks better images to look up to and to aspire to. Now, I'm not trying to do the whole mansplaining thing where I feel that women should dress a certain way and look a certain way and hold themselves a certain way. Women should feel free to express themselves however they so choose. But I think it's time that in what is a predominantly male-dominated industry, the comic book industry is predominantly male-dominated, the video game industry is predominantly male, the tech industry is predominantly male, the movie industry is predominantly male. You know, in those industries, I think it's important that we start taking responsibility for the power and position that we hold and start giving women and little girls too who are growing up and becoming fans of these things, start giving them more stuff to work with. You know, it's cool to have Wonder Woman in the skimpy little one-piece leotard with the legs showing and the breasts and everything like that. That's cool for certain books. But, you know, it's also a good idea to represent her in a more conservative way, to show that a powerful woman can still project that air of appeal and physical beauty dressed in a more conservative way. You know, it's basically, I'd like to go into these details a little bit further when we're able to schedule the roundtable discussion. But the basic point is, I think it's important that we start giving more options for females in the way that they're presented in these industries. And also, for the time being, while we wait for that to be a thing that happens, which it probably won't happen for a long time, let's be honest. But in the meantime, so long as the only kind of cosplay that women can really do in these conventions is dress up in the skimpy outfits, let me make this perfectly clear, and this also pertains to non-nerd stuff. Just because a woman dresses in a sexually provocative way does not entitle you to project your sexual desire onto them. She's not a bitch for rejecting you. You know, it's a big problem that we have in this society in general, and I'm noticing especially within the nerd community, is this sense of entitlement to women. We're not entitled to women. You've never been entitled to a woman in your life. You know, it's not something that is owed to you. I don't know why people haven't grasped this concept or understood it yet. You're not owed sex. You're not owed sexual attention. You're not owed a relationship from anyone. You know, if you want a relationship, you have to put in the effort as well. Just because you go out and you show attention to a female and you're nice to her and you do nice things for her and you show her interest in her, does not mean that she's obligated to reciprocate. It's that simple. It's part of a basic problem, really, where we have this sense. It's what I call protagonist syndrome, wherein everyone is basically the protagonist in their own movie, right? You know, your life is your movie, and you're the star of that movie. You're the protagonist, and we grow up watching movies, and in these movies, the protagonist at the end of the movie is always rewarded with their desire, whether it's money, you know, the great job they've always wanted, the nice house, the apartment, or the woman. You know, the guy always gets the girl. The hero always gets the girl in the movie. But real life is not a movie. It doesn't work that way. And so therefore, although you are the protagonist in your movie, you're not actually in the movie, and therefore you're not a protagonist. And also keep in mind that the woman you're pursuing is not a stock character there to reward you as a protagonist for your movie. She's also the protagonist in her movie, which means she's entitled to expect her own rewards out of life as well. So if she desires a particular type of male, then as the protagonist of her movie, she's entitled to that. If you don't fit her desired image of a guy, guess what? You don't get to have her. Plain and simple. Nobody's really entitled to anything except basic human rights. And everybody's entitled to that. And one of the basic human rights that everybody is entitled to, male or female, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, and what is to not have their fucking personal space violated. And to not be made to feel uncomfortable sexually, physically, mentally, psychologically, whatever. No one has the right to make somebody feel that way. And no one is entitled to project their desires onto somebody else and make them feel that way. So fucking stop already. Get over it. Grow the fuck up. I guess I've ranted long enough. I just wanted to vent that and get that off my chest because I was really frustrated about it. The stuff that's happening. Please like and share this video if you agree. If you don't agree, fucking grow up. You know, I'm sure this video gets posted and it gets around. There'll be tons of comments calling me, you know, a feminist faggot and all this bullshit. Grow up. Grow up and get over yourself. And read a book and learn how to treat other human beings with respect and courtesy. The same way you would wish to be respected and treated with courtesy. All right. Hope you guys got the message, man. I'm sorry to be so harsh and so down and such a bummer and everything like that, but I hope you guys receive this and you think about it. You know I came at you guys kind of aggressive and harsh and everything like that, but I feel like the point needs to be hammered home. Hopefully you're able to look past my harsh language and really let this message sink in and really think about it and reflect on it and think about how maybe you've been kind of feeding into that misogynistic view of the nerd world and the nerd community. Start really thinking about it and try and improve yourself, man. Try and do better. Try and be better. You know, try to be more accommodating to the females that appreciate fandom and sci-fi and fantasy and comic books and video games and all that. You know, try to be a better person. You know. See Monty, Nerd Era. Have a good day.